Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rohit Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. This video today is about Venus's upcoming transit in the sign of Aries. Venus is moving out of its exaltation sign of Pisces where it has been making a long transit, longer than usual. It's been a very fantastic transit. Venus also went retrograde. There was a lot of karmic repercussions that we would have experienced in terms of relationships. Now on 31st of May, Venus is entering Aries, which is a fiery sign ruled by Mars or Mangal, and it is going to stay in Aries till 29th of June. So this is almost a month-long transit of Venus, which is in Aries. Now this sign falls between Pisces and Taurus. Pisces is where Venus gets exalted. Taurus is the own sign of Venus. So Venus relatively is in a comfortable space. It's been in a joyful situation all the while. And then it would be excited to step into Taurus, which is its own Rashi as well. So throughout the time during this transit, Venus is alone, so it does not have any other influence besides the first couple of weeks wherein it is in a Pap Kartari Yoga because there is going to be Sun in Taurus, there is Saturn in Pisces, so it is held between two malefics. But second half of the month, it is absolutely alone with zero malefic influence. Before I talk about how this transit is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs, two golden astrological tips related to Venus. Venus in the Vimshottari Dasha scheme has been given the Dasha of 20 years. Out of the 120 years of the total Dashas, Venus's Dasha is of longest duration. Now understand the kind of message that our rishis, our ancient sages are trying to give us. The Dasha of Venus is of longest duration because the message is clear. The Almighty wants us to live a life of enjoyment. Venus naturally rules the second house, which is the house of Bhoga, the consumption, and the seventh house, which has to do a lot with all the people who are opposite to you. So the majority of time, the energy that we spend, why we live on this planet, on Bhuloka, on Earth, on Prithvi, there are two things. One is to consume, to enjoy the comforts of the life, to look after everything, and especially in this yuga. And the second is to interact with as many people as we can. And Venus is the significator of interaction between two or many people. So this is a very clear message that we are here to do some karmas, we are here for bhoga, we are here to meet up with people, to interact with people. And this is why Venus has the longest dasha duration, which is of 20 years. The second astrological tip related to Venus is, since in this transit, Sun is in the sign of Taurus, Venus is in Aries, so Venus technically is behind the Sun. Now from a transit point of view, on an average, Venus is slightly faster than the Sun in terms of making its transit because Sun takes about 30 to 31 days. Venus makes a transit within 30 days most of the time, unless it is going retrograde, then it is a prolonged transit. So if Venus is behind the Sun in the horoscope, if Venus is behind the Sun in your natal chart in D1 or in other divisional charts as well, it is forming a positive yoga. So this makes a wealth making combination, or chances of making wealth for such individuals are relatively easier than those where Venus is ahead of Sun. So this is a positive yoga which is happening at this time as well, where Sun is in Taurus, Venus is in Aries, and it is behind the Sun. So resources are going to be favorable when it comes to making and managing finances. Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon signs. So Venus becomes your second lord and the seventh lord. So it rules the house of consumption, your family, your accumulation of wealth, what you consume, what you eat. Your storage space is seen from the second house. And of course, fulfillment of yourself, of your lagna is seen from the second house. Venus also rules the seventh house of your spouse. It is the Jaya Bhava. We see peace and also war. All those people, things and events who are opposite to you, your outer world of things, of events and people. And this Venus now is making a transit in your lagna, in your ascendant. All the while, last few months, Venus has been making a transit in your 12th house. And now it is entering your ascendant. So you must welcome Venus in your ascendant. Being the second lord, this is a Dhan Yoga in place wherein your own efforts, your independent thinking matters the most. This is also your seventh lord making a transit in the first house. So this is quite beneficial in case you're married, quite beneficial for your spouse in terms of making some progress. those people who are looking forward to having a relationship or establishing or meeting someone new, this could be a favorable time. This could also trigger marriage in case your dasha and the dasha is supportive. So we have to look at a number of factors here. All right. Now, this is an excellent time for personal development. Venus is the significator of interaction. So you need to establish and develop your interactive skills with people. It's an excellent time to build long-lasting, credible relationships. Venus is going to make you very conscious of whatever you do, any steps that you take, any way that you would like to present yourself and the way you carry yourself. This is going to change drastically. So you can have some nice changes in your wardrobe, in your clothing, your accessories, and what you wear and how you carry yourself and how you present yourself. It's a huge opportunity for your overall personality development. And this is where you need to leverage the power of interaction and of course abundance in your life to navigate through these energies. Venus is going to be aspecting your 7th house by its 7th aspect of desire. Venus only has one aspect. So Venus desires you to stay absolutely passionate about relationship. See, Aries is a fiery sign. Venus is a Jala Tattva or watery planet. So when fire and water comes together, it creates smoke. Avoid any kind of overindulgence or extravagance. Be careful of what you consume, what you eat, because otherwise you could have some health related or digestive issues. And bring in a sense of passion in your love life, in your relationship. Be there with your partner. This is the time to enjoy the bhogas of life. From a remedial point of view, you must look up to Mars in strengthening your Mars in any way that you can. That could be through mantra sadhana, that could be through consuming food items related to Mars, and that could be via gemstones as well in case your dasha antardasha is supportive or conducive. You must look up to Mars to channelize these energies. For Taurus ascendant signs or the Taurus moon signs, so Venus becomes your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant. So regardless of your dasha antardasha, whenever Venus makes a transit, it will have an impact on you because Venus rules the 1st house in your case, and it also rules the 6th house. So firstly, it is the ruler of yourself, your knowledge, intelligence, your body, immunity, vitality, who you are, your decision making. 6th house is the house of growth. It is the house of competition. It is also the house of your weaknesses, the enemies of the mind, deaths, diseases, your overall focus on health and well-being. We also see job from the 6th house. So for intelligence matters, Venus plays a very important role in your life, and regardless of the fact, its transit will play an important role in your life. Now Venus is entering your 12th house. It is one step away from entering your ascendant, and this is the time wherein it is building up for you. So the next 1 month is an excellent time for you to do some sort of self-awareness exercise. 12th house is the house of higher self-consciousness. It is the house of expenditure, losses, your sleep, your bed comforts. Foreign lands, foreign journeys are seen from the 12th house. And most importantly, how well you understand your strengths. Venus represents yourself, and this is a perfect time for you to sit down, pen down your strengths. Spiritually, it is very good. So I would highly encourage you to have a morning spiritual routine. First 40 to 45 minutes of the day, you have to do something productive, something more personal, something more spiritual. Because your 12 and 6 axis is pretty active during this time. Venus does well in the 12th house because it naturally gets exalted in the sign of Pisces. So it is the sign of devotion, because the sign of Pisces in the Kalpurusha Kundali represents Lord Vishnu's feet. And this is where Venus gets exalted. So it's in a comfortable position. So adopt some spiritual practices, do some donations, give some donations related to Mars. So you could donate red pulses over the course of next few weeks. That could be very good for you. Or you could donate red color fruits. Now Venus is aspecting your 6th house by the 7th aspect of desire. Venus desires a lot of cleanliness in your daily routine, a sense of poise, a sense of structure, right? Your focus in your daily life should be on relationship building, the people that you can interact with, and your aim should be how these people will help you become more aware of yourself over the course of next 3 to 4 weeks. This is the kind of opportunity which you have. It's also a good opportunity to improve your sleep. First 10 to 15 days of this transit, your sleep will be disruptive. It will be disturbed because Venus is also in a Pap yoga, because there is Saturn in Pisces, there is Sun in Taurus. So it is hem between these two natural malefics. But the second half of June is very good to fix your sleep, to solve some of these persistent health issues if you've been having, and to improve your immunity and vitality on that matter. Gemini ascendant signs or the Gemini moon signs. Venus is the most important planet for you because this is the only Yoga Karaka Graha, Yoga Karaka planet for Gemini ascendants because it's a fifth lord. So fifth lord holds a greater importance. It also rules the 12th house. Being the 12th lord, usually it is considered neutral, but it rules the fifth house, and that is the sign of Libra that falls in your chart. It is the most benefic planet for Gemini ascendant. So its transits are important for you. Fifth lord of future, positional success, your sense of using mantras because Venus becomes the mantreshas, your children because this is the house of future, right? So children are connected to future. We also see corruption from the fifth house. We also see positional success from the fifth house. This is one of the Rajya Bhavas or the house that represents kingdom. Venus also rules your 12th house of Vyaya, expenditure. How your expenditure is, whether you incur expenditure on good deeds or not so good deeds, your sleep, your bed comforts, your higher self-consciousness is seen from the 12th house. Venus now would be making a transit in your 11th house in the sign of Aries. It has been making a transit in its exaltation sign in the sign of in your 10th house, and of course bringing in that transformation at your workplace, and of course helping you do something new. Now it is entering your 11th house. So any planet that makes a transit in the 11th house firstly delivers good results, and Venus is a benefic planet for you. So I would expect this transit to help you create new sources of income. 11th house is the house of Aya, your income, your material gains, material comfort, your wider social network. Next 1 month is an excellent time if you are into the fields of social media or anything to do with interacting with other people. If you want to influence other people, you can expand, you can build your followers. This is quite a breakthrough time for you because Venus is alone. For the first 2 weeks, you will have some confusion, you will have some blockages, but second half of June is very promising because Venus will be alone. It will be away from any malefic influence during this time. The Pap Kartari Yoga will also not be there. Making a transit in the 11th house, of course, there is progress. There could be a rise in income because this is a Dhan Yoga in transit. You will cut down your expenditure, right? Because somehow your losses are being protected. So it will save you from future expenditure. Of course, July, August, you will incur expenditure. But before that, it will help you cut down and save your expenditure. Manage your finances. Do some sort of financial management over the course of next few weeks. Make some long lasting and of course long-term investment related decisions that you can, which is in the best interest of yourself. Worship Goddess Lakshmi. Read Sri Suktam on a daily basis. This is how it will bless you because Venus is making connection with your 5th house. It is aspecting your 5th house. So you need to use mantras. You need to do your prayers. It could be a good transit for your children. They could have some progress. They could have some success over the course of next few weeks. And I wish you the very best. Cancer ascendant signs or the Cancer moon signs. Venus for you becomes the 4th lord and the 11th lord. So it rules one Kendra house, quadrant house, and it also becomes the 11th lord. So it's more of a neutral planet for you. Being the 4th lord, it rules your comfort space, your safety, mother, your home, the place where you feel most protected, most happy, most comfortable. It is the Sukha Bhava, the house that brings happiness, the lord that brings happiness in your life, contentment. Venus also becomes the 11th lord of gains, your income, because this is where we see the Aya, your material comforts, wider social network, your friends. We also see bigger enemies from the 11th house because this is 6th from the 6th house. We see your fulfillment of work from the 11th house because this is the 2nd from your 10th house. We see change of fortune from the 11th house because this is the 3rd from the 9th house. So a number of things can be seen from the 11th house. And this Venus is now making a transit in your 10th house. So your 11th lord making a transit in your 10th house, your 4th lord, the lord who rules happiness and gains, is making a transit in your workplace, your profession, your actions in the society, what you do to survive and sustain yourself in the world. Venus is also one of the significator of 10th house from an interaction point of view, from a relationship building point of view. It rules and governs all relationships at work. So the first half of this transit, first couple of weeks, Venus and your 10th house is under Pap Yoga because there is Sun in Taurus and there is Saturn in Pisces. So you could have some confusion, you could have some relationship karma, some conflicts that you will have to manage at workplace. But the second half, mid-June onwards, things are going to gradually improve because this is where you will focus on building long-lasting relationship. So if you were to improve your workplace environment, later in June is quite an auspicious time for you to get some new opportunity or improve your existing opportunity. A message is very clear for you. From a remedial point of view, you must declutter your workspace because Venus does well if the surroundings are clean. Get a white color flower for either your workplace or you could keep it at your home as well in case you work from home. Since your 10-4 axis is active, you must declutter your home space as well. Try to keep it clean, tidy. Venus is aspecting your 4th house by the 7th aspect of desire. It wants you to focus on some hobbies, some things that are of your personal interest. Your connection will build even better with your mother and back at home. You will get some travel opportunities related to work. So if this travel is related to work, it will be beneficial for you. You need to present yourself and build your brand. Make your presence felt and create a lot of visibility for yourself over the next few weeks. This is something which you must be doing. Leo ascendant signs or the Leo moon signs. Venus becomes your 3rd lord and the 10th lord. So it holds an important lordship because it's your 10th lord, one Kendra house. So it rules your profession, your actions, your work, job, business, whatever you do outside of your home to survive and sustain yourself and your family, your loved ones in this world. Venus plays a very important role for all these matters in order to get a job as well. Venus also rules your 3rd house of valor, courage. Your efforts are seen from this house, your communication, learning is seen, change is seen from this house, and also your co-bonds, particularly younger siblings, are seen from the 3rd house. We also see desires and lust from the 3rd house. This Venus now will be entering your 9th house. It has been making a long transit in your 8th house, bringing suddenness, transformation of all kinds. Now it is entering the 9th house. 10th lord making a transit in the 9th house is a yoga. It's a dharma karma yoga that is happening in transit. Depending on the placement of Mars, if it is well placed. If your Mars is placed in trinal houses, this is going to be an excellent transit for you. Even if Mars is placed in quadrant houses, this will be a good transit, an above average transit for you because Venus will be able to channelize very well. So firstly, you need to stick to your dharma. Fortune is going to be favorable for you at workplace. So anything that you do, any efforts that you put, there will be a greater element of luck there. So both efforts and luck will come together, will bring together in terms of ensuring that you're successful in your endeavors. There could be some long distance travel opportunities. You must go on a spiritual retreat. So your 9-3 axis is pretty active. When your 10th lord makes a transit in 9th house, which is the house of higher learning, you must pick up something to learn which is related to your work. You must go for a professional qualification or a certification. And from a remedial point of view, you must teach back to those at workplace. You must share your knowledge with others. This is how you will be able to channelize the energies of this Venus. Venus is aspecting your 3rd house by the 7th aspect of desire. Venus has huge desires, and this is something which you need to channelize because 3rd house brings change, but it brings heaviness when it comes to the sense of desire. So you need some sort of direction. Before making a decision, please consult or take advice of someone who you trust in order to ensure that your decision is right. First 10 to 15 days, you could probably face some sort of heaviness in the responsibilities that you have, in the expectations that you have. Post that, later in June, things are going to get better, where your decision making will be quite fruitful. Look up to Mars in strengthening Mars by using mantras, by using the Bij mantra of Mars, or worshipping Lord Hanuman. Virgo ascendant signs or the Virgo moon signs. Venus becomes your 2nd lord and the 9th lord. So firstly, Venus plays a very important role in all wealth related matters because these two houses are Lakshmi Bhav. They play an important role in wealth creating opportunities. 2nd house is the natural house of Dhan. We call Venus Dhanesha in your case. It also rules your consumption, what you consume. It is your storage space. It is also the fulfillment of yourself. Venus also rules your family. And being the ninth lord, it is the ruler of your fortune, your bhagya, higher learning, spiritual learning and education is seen from the ninth house. We also see your father or father figure, guru or teacher is seen from the ninth house. Long journeys are also seen from the ninth house. We also sense foreign travel from the ninth house. Venus has been making a nice transit in your seventh house. Now it is going to enter your eighth house for the next 3 to 4 weeks, which is the house of transformation, longevity. We also see suddenness from the eighth house. See, Venus from a historical point of view is the only planet that attained the knowledge of Mrit Sanjeevani by the blessings of Lord Shiva. Therefore, it does very well in the 8th house because this is the house of longevity. So, it supports health and well-being. You will have a renewed focus on your personal priorities. You will get very conscious about the little things that you do in your life, what you eat, the time you wake up, how your day is, your exercise routine, and of course, your overall fitness scenario. And this is a huge opportunity for you to fix some of your eating habits. This transformation can really last long for you if you take things in your own hands. Ninth lord making a transit in the 8th house is a situation wherein it's a loss of bhagya. So you will not rely a lot on luck or on fortune, but rather take things in your own hands. The message is very clear that whatever you do, you work towards your family. You have to change yourself for the betterment of your family. You have to make some important decisions related to your finances. You have to do a lot of financial management. 8th house also represents your weaknesses, your nija dosha. So you could be extravagant. You could indulge in things. You could become a spendthrift over the next few weeks. And this is some place where you have to be careful of in order to minimizing your expenditure and ensuring that you put the budget mechanisms in place to have some sort of long-term planning. Venus is aspecting your second house by the 7th aspect of desire. So it desires you to manage your finances. It desires you to bring some changes in your dietary requirement. Avoid overindulgence. You will indulge in foods. As long as it is not having a detrimental effect on your health and well-being, it is fine. But the message is very clear for you. Use mantras related to Venus or use a simple Lakshmi mantra, Om Lakshmi Namah, and you will be able to channelize the positive energies of this Venus. Momentarily, this is a little bit challenging for you, but gradually when Venus enters your 9th house, it is going to be good for you. I consider the second half of the transit to be better for you. Libra ascendant signs or the Libra moon signs. Venus is your ascendant lord, lord of Lagna. So regardless of your dasha, antardasha, the time periods that you're running, Venus's transit will always have a say, will always have a significance in your life. It is the ruler of yourself, your body, your vitality, your immunity, who you are. Your intelligence is seen from the first house. Your decision making is seen from the first house. Your capacity to build meaningful connections, your inner and outer growth, your personality is seen from the first house. Your behavior is seen. So it has a lot of things. This is the house where your brain sits. So Venus plays a very important role in your development of the brain and of course how it fosters good decisions in your life. Venus is also the 8th lord of longevity, suddenness in life, sudden ups, sudden downs, sudden changes, places which are across the seas, people who live in distant lands. Now this Venus is making a transit in the 7th house. Venus is the Karaka or the natural significator of the 7th house. So this is quite a positive transit for you, okay. In return, what Venus is doing is, it is aspecting your ascendant. It is aspecting the sign of Libra during this time. So this is again positive because this is the house where Venus is going to be aspecting, alright. So it is desiring you to bring in a sense of change in your personality for your betterment so that you can improve your relationship. So firstly, Venus is going to bring new relationships. If you are in an existing relationship, first 10 days you could have a conflicting situation, a very strong difference of opinion, some sort of ego clashes or battle that you have to brace yourself with. But the second half of June looks quite promising for you to enjoy this space of love, of abundance, of course of meaningful connections that you will develop. All of these things Venus is trying to expand. Alright, it's good for the transformation of your partner. Your partner is going to change for you, for the betterment of your relationship, for the sustenance of your relationship. And this is something which you must remember. So any decisions that you take, make sure that you take some people into account, those people who are opposite to you. See, if you see Dara from your 7th house, Dara in Vedic terms is the upholder of your secrets and someone who keeps your secrets. This could be your spouse, this could be yourself as well. So take things in your own hands here, and this is quite an excellent time for your personal development and enjoying all the significations of Venus. Read Shri Suktam on a daily basis. You can also use Venus's Bij mantra in order to channelize these energies appropriately, and an excellent time for you to build meaningful, long-lasting relationship. In case you have a business, this time period you can take some important decisions. I would expect you to take some decisions later in June, because this is where Venus will be away from any Papa Yoga post 15th of June. It will be a good time for you to make these decisions. Scorpio ascendant signs or the Scorpio moon signs. So what is happening here? Venus is changing signs. It is now entering the sign of Aries, which falls in your 6th house. Now 6th house, Venus is set to attain Maran Karak, or it is a death-like position where it loses its significance. Venus signifies relationship, love, abundance, harmony. It is the primary Karaka of interaction. So all of these significations will be at risk. They will be challenging. So you will have to put in more efforts in terms of your personal priorities, but this will depend on your ongoing Dasha Antardasha. Venus for you rules your 7th house, 7th house of Jaya. We see peace and war from this house. We see all those people who are opposite to you. Your spouse is seen from this house. Your sense of relationship karma is seen from this house. Your business is also seen from the 7th house. Venus also becomes the 12th lord of expenditure, losses, your higher self-consciousness, your ability to be more self-aware, and most importantly, your sleep, your bed comforts. Now, Venus is making a transit in the house that represents your daily routine. So, firstly, your daily routine needs a lot of decluttering. It needs a lot of cleansing. This is what you need to fix over the course of next few weeks. Anything that you do will require extra effort when it comes to building credible relationships with people. You know, new connections, existing connections, there is certain karma, there is certain challenges which are there around this time. 6th house also represents growth. Right, so it could be a potentially good time period for your partner. They could have some growth opportunities, but for you, it is important that you consult someone, you think before you decide, because 6th house represents your Shadripus, the enemies of the mind. So you could be in a conflicting situation wherein you're not sure about making a decision. And this is where you have to take due consultation of people who you trust. See, Venus is also giving you a Viparita Yoga in transit, because when the 12th lord makes a transit in the 6th house, because these two are Dusthanas, it is Viparita Yoga. Circumstances will go adverse. Eventually, you will rise. The first half of this transit, Venus is also under Papa Yoga, your 6th house. You will feel lethargic, and this is where you have to consciously bring in a sense of energy. Remedy your Lagna Lord Mars and try to stay active all through the day in order to channelize these energies. This is the ultimate remedy for you. Venus is aspecting your 12th house by the 7th aspect of desire. 12th house is about moksha, spirituality. Venus desires you to have some spiritual routine, some spiritual progress. I would advise you to have 30 to 45 minutes of morning routine that will set the tone for the entire day for you in order to channelize these energies over the course of next few weeks. And remember, situations, circumstances is likely to go adverse, but you will rise off this transit towards the later half of this transit. Sagittarius ascendant signs or the Sagittarius moon signs. So what is happening in Venus's transit? Venus will be entering Aries. It is your 6th lord and the 11th lord. So on one hand, it rules the house of deaths, diseases, your daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, health and well-being. We also see growth from the 6th house. We see competition. Your enemies are seen from the 6th house. Venus is also the 11th lord of gains, your income. But on the negative side, it represents tough competition, because this is the 6th from the 6th house. Bigger enemies are seen from the 11th house. Your wider social network is also seen from the 11th house. Your ability to be recognized in this world, your sense of fulfillment is seen from this house, and a sense of illusion is also seen from this house. Venus is a potent malefic for Sagittarius ascendants because of the kind of relationship it has with your Lagna Lord Jupiter. But this Venus is now making a transit in the 5th house. See, 5th house is considered Lakshmi Sthan, and Venus is associated to goddess Lakshmi. So it's a good transit, it's a good placement from a transit point of view, because this house represents mantras. So any mantras that you will use, particularly if it is related to Mars or Jupiter, it will be highly beneficial for you over the course of next few weeks. 5th house represents your sense of planning, your creativity. Unconditional love is seen from this house, and Venus is the significator of love. So love is in the air. You will have some relationship conflict within the first week to 10-15 days of this transit. So you have to be prepared for it. You have to ensure that you keep your ego aside, because there is a greater role of ego that will play in order to resolve some of these issues. Second half of this transit, I expect it to be very good for relationship and for your future planning, because 5th house represents your future. So it's a perfect time for you to set your goals, how you can create a secondary source of income or multiple sources of income, or how you could probably work, or the kind of work that could bring recognition, that could probably help you expand and influence other people by the virtue of your relationship building. See, Venus is aspecting your 11th house, so your 5-11 axis is pretty much involved here. So Venus desires you to go for, you might purchase a new gadget or a new machine or a household appliance over the course of next few weeks. That is quite likely, because Venus is associated to all these things, and this is what is seen from the 11th house. Anything that makes your life easy, that makes your life convenient, fast. Make use of technology, make use of AI as much as you can over the course of next few weeks. Venus desires you to focus on those things and relationship that could probably help you in getting recognized. It's a very good time to build your own brand, make your presence felt, and create a lot of visibility amongst other people, and also learn something that is related to your workplace. Capricorn ascendant signs or the Capricorn moon signs. Venus is an important planet for you because it is the Yoga Karaka Graha. It rules one trinal house and one Kendra house. It becomes your 5th lord and the 10th lord. So it rules 2 of the Rajya Bhavas, or the houses of kingdom in the chart. I always say that 5th lord holds a great importance for any ascendant. And at some point in time in life, for Capricorn ascendants, they must do a Venus related remedy. Regardless of their dasha, antardasha, whatever they are running, this is the planet that could probably help them come out of any tough times, any troubled times. And you must look up to Venus, regardless of wherever it is placed in the chart. Even if it is afflicted, placed in bad houses, you must remedy. Even if it is strong, you must still look up to Venus. 5th lord of mantras, it becomes a mantresha. So whether mantra based remedies will work for you or not depends on Venus. Progress, positional success, we see children from the 5th house. Unconditional love, this is also the house of corruption. This is also the house of future, your future planning, your thought process, speculation. Venus is the 10th lord, your workspace, your actions, job, business, what you do in order to survive yourself and your loved ones in this world. Now, this Venus is making an important transit in the 4th house. It has been making an exalted transit in the 3rd house. Of course, bringing in new interesting stuff, challenging work assignments as well all the while. Now is the time to focus on your comfort space. Venus is the 4th house, is said to be Digbali, or it gains directional strength. There are blessings of Ma Lakshmi, goddess Lakshmi during this time, or Shakti, Durga, the Holy Mother. So you must make the most of this time. The next few weeks, you have to absolutely focus on your comfort space. Your 4-10 axis is pretty much active. From a remedy point of view, you could use mantras related to Venus. A very simple Lakshmi mantra will be good for you. Om Lakshmi Namah. Or you read Sri Suktam on a daily basis, starting Friday. And Venus will be aspecting your 10th house by the 7th aspect of desire. So Venus desires you to build some connections at work. Make your presence felt. Focus on personal branding. Try to create your visibility. Do that consciously. So you would like to probably stay in your comfort zone as well, because you will probably learn to strike a balance between your personal and professional life. This time period could be good for you to have a white flower plant at your home. indoors or outdoors, and try to take care of it every day. Do a decluttering exercise in your house, and particularly check the southeast corner of your house. That needs to be decluttered, that has to be absolutely clean during this time to make the most of these energies, and try and strike a balance between your personal and your work life for your betterment, for your well-being. That has to be the number one priority. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. Venus is the Yoga Karaka planet for you because it rules one quadrant house and one trinal house. So it rules your 4th house and it rules your 9th house. I always say that Aquarius ascendants naturally have a karma towards their parents, because there is one planet that rules the 4th house, your house of mother, and the 9th house, the house of father, and that is Venus. So depending on the placement of Venus, how will you fulfill this karma, what are the kind of challenges that you will have, and what are the kind of benefits that you will get, is very well seen for an Aquarius ascendant. 4th lord of your mother, your comfort space, your happy space, your Sukh Bhava, where you feel most happy, most protected. It is the safe space. And also the 9th lord of fortune, your Bhagya. Long journeys are seen from this house. Higher education, spiritual education is seen from this house. Your father figure, your lineage is seen from this house. A lot is seen from this house. The change in your relationship, the desire in your relationship, because this is 3rd from your 7th house. All right. Your guru and the message that your guru gives is seen from the 9th house. So your 4th lord and 9th lord is now making a transit in your 3rd house in the fiery sign of Aries. First few days it will be in a Papa Yoga because there will be Saturn and Sun in adjacent houses. But Venus is behind Sun, so it is a good opportunity for you to create wealth by your own efforts. So this is a yoga for you, that by your own efforts you can create wealth. So your efforts will pay results. You will have some challenges. First 10-15 days you will have to put in more efforts. You will have a high sense of desire. You might be thinking about 10 different things that you would like to do, but you will lack focus on one thing or 2 things that probably you could boil down to. Second half of June looks quite promising, and this is where you need to channelize your sense of desires, because Venus gives very strong desires when making a transit in the 3rd house or when placed in the 3rd house. It is the house of valor, and Venus has nothing to do with valor. It is the Karaka for relationship, for interaction. 3rd house is the house of communication. So your interaction will be focused on building credible relationship. You must get some advice during this time. In case you want to elevate your fortune, elevate your Bhagya, take advice. Take advice of your parents. Best gurus for you are your parents. Their advice is not going to hurt you over the next few weeks. Listen to what they say and do what they say. Or if you have any other teacher or a father figure, or of course someone senior who you trust, who you count on, you must take their advice into account. Venus is aspecting your 9th house by the 7th aspect of desire. This could bring travel, which would be good for you, rejuvenating, go on a spiritual journey, go out there, connect with the nature. This should be the aim for this kind of travel opportunity. Pen down your thoughts, write about gratitude. Gratitude journaling when Venus is in the 3rd house, because Venus is Shukra, which represents gratitude. So this is something which you can do from a remedial point of view. Write, pen down your good thoughts and write about those things that you're grateful for. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon signs. Venus is a potent malefic for you, because this is what happens for Jupiter ruled signs. Venus becomes a potent malefic. For Venusian signs, Jupiter becomes one of the potent malefics. In your case, Venus is the ruler of the 3rd house and the 8th house. So it rules 2 of the not so good houses of the chart from a signification point of view. 3rd house represents valor, your courage, efforts that you're going to put. We also see co-borns, younger siblings from the 3rd house. That's a primary house. Your courage, change is seen from this house. Growth is seen from this house, because this is the Upachaya Bhava. Communication, learning, short journeys, your journeys are seen from this house. Venus also is the 8th lord of longevity, suddenness in life, sudden changes, sudden ups and downs, sudden issues in life, your weaknesses, because this is where we see Nija Dosha and how you overcome it. This time, Venus is moving out of your ascendant, your Lagna. It would have evolved and improved your personality over the course of last few months. It would have brought in some sort of suddenness in your life as well, and your ability to deal with these sudden changes. Now Venus is entering your second house of bhoga, of consumption, your family. We also see accumulation. Therefore, wealth is seen from this house, that kind of wealth that you are able to accumulate, that you are able to save, your storage space. And Venus, being a natural benefic, does well in the second house. Okay. But based on the lordship, it's not one of the most auspicious transit because it could make you indulge. This will create extravagance. You have to be very careful of what you consume, what you eat. Your lifestyle needs a check over the next few weeks. That could be detrimental towards your health and well-being. You could have some health related issues. So this is a time where you have to be careful. You have to stay low-key. One thing which will ensure is it will bring in a sense of poise, eloquence in what you say. Your speech is going to be soft. You will have a lot of interest in hobbies, in of course performing arts, in some musical instruments, in artistic work. That is something which will be more fulfilling for you. So in case you have some of these desires, maybe this is the time to start something similar, something which is more fulfilling for you. You will have to put in a lot more efforts because Venus rules efforts for you. It is making a transit 12th from your third house. So extra efforts are needed in anything that you do. Particularly the first 10-15 days could be challenging. It could create conflict with others, but gradually things are going to improve. Venus is aspecting your 8th house by the 7th aspect of desire. It's a very benefic aspect that Venus has. It is protecting you from any unforeseen event, any suddenness in life. And this could be an excellent time for you to focus on research related subjects. To learn astrology, it could be a good time, Jyotish sciences, or any work that involves research where things are of hidden in nature. You have to improve your lifestyle. This is a very clear and an important message for you over the course of next few weeks. And any mantras that you do, it should be either related to Mars or Jupiter. These are the two planets that you need to channelize to make the most of this time. So friends, this was yet another simple, short and unique video on Venus transit in the sign of Aries. I hope and believe Venus's transit in the fiery sign of Aries helps us all evolve in terms of our personality, bring in a lot of harmony in our life when it comes to relationship, and help us plan and manage our finances very well. Stay tuned for more interesting videos. Thank you very much. God bless you all.